If you've been thinking about certification, you've probably read the application guide and wondered how it all fits together. My name is Shannon Green, and I serve as a trustee for the Board for Certification of Genealogists. Today, I'd like to walk you through the 4 major work samples of the portfolio: document work, the kinship determination project, the research report, and the case study. Now, this is not a replacement for the application guide. This is just an overview. It's really a way to help you see how the pieces fit together, as well as to understand what each one is designed to demonstrate. The application guide is always the final authority, and I really encourage you to read it closely as you prepare. So let's talk about the structure. The portfolio is submitted in 2 parts. Part 1 includes your signed code of ethics, a discussion of your development activities, document work, and the kinship determination project. If Part 1 is judged sufficient, you're invited to submit Part 2, which includes a freshly signed code of ethics, a research report prepared for another person, and the case study. And each element evaluates specific skills. So it's research planning and analysis, evidence evaluation, writing clarity, documentation, as well as ethical practice. So now let's look at the 4 work samples. First, there's document work. When you submit your preliminary application, BCG will send you a historical document based on the geographic area and time period that you noted in your preliminary application. Your task is to demonstrate professional treatment of that document. You must provide a complete citation, a full transcription, an abstract, an analysis of the source and its information, a single focused research question, an analysis of the evidence as it pertains to that research question, and then the first steps for your research plan, and we ask you to limit it to 1 page. Your analysis should include information or your assessment about the reliability, the credibility of the source and the information, as well as to place the document in its historical context. And this element demonstrates how you think about a source. So how do you approach an unfamiliar record, extract information, and transform that information into evidence? In addition, of course, how you plan your initial research steps. So it's really about your process and your ability to articulate your reasoning clearly. Next is the kinship determination project. This is a 3-generation descending narrative lineage, and it must meet the genealogical proof standard. You must include documented proof summaries or proof arguments for at least 2 parent-child relationships in different generations, and you must label these proofs. Every statement of fact must be documented, and the project must follow either the National Genealogical Society quarterly or the Register formatting and numbering convention. You may use your own family, most people do, but you may not include yourself or your siblings. The kinship determination project demonstrates that you can conduct sufficiently broad research, accurately place individuals within a family, correlate evidence, resolve questions about relationships, as well as write clearly. And for many genealogists, the KDP becomes an opportunity to explore a family really in depth, to follow the evidence across generations, to document each relationship carefully, and to tell the story of your ancestors within the world that they lived. So next is the research report. So this is a report that must be prepared for another person. It may not be about your family or your spouse's family. The report must represent authorized research. So it must actually have been sent to the commissioning individual, even if you do it pro bono. And it must be submitted to BCG exactly as it was sent to your client, so without revision, reformatting, or additional research. The research report should demonstrate in-depth and a skillful use of a range of sources, and research reports typically include an analysis of the problem, a detailed account of findings, and recommendations for further research if the problem remains unresolved. In order to accomplish all of this, research sessions of fewer than 20 hours are unlikely to meet this requirement. And you must also include the client's authorization and written permission to use the report in your portfolio. The research report demonstrates your ability to respond to a client's objective, work carefully within some defined parameters, and communicate clearly and professionally. Unlike the case study, the research report does not need to solve the problem completely, but it must reflect sound methodology and professional reporting standards. Finally, the case study. This is a standalone proof argument drawn from your research. It must resolve a significant problem of relationship or identity that cannot be solved from uncontested direct evidence. And you indicate which of the following 3 techniques you're using, whether or not you are assembling indirect and negative evidence, or resolving conflicts between direct evidence, or resolving conflicts between direct evidence and indirect evidence. The case study should describe the problem clearly, present both supporting and contradictory evidence, everything with full citations, correlate and analyze that evidence, resolve conflicts, and then reach a soundly reasoned conclusion. And unlike the research report, the case study must successfully resolve the problem and meet the genealogical proof standard. This element demonstrates your ability to build and communicate a persuasive genealogical argument that's grounded in standards. Your portfolio is reviewed by multiple judges who all work independently. They use the same application guide, rubrics, and the book's genealogy standards that applicants use. Because these resources are public, you can see exactly how your work will be evaluated. And the process includes multiple layers of review to promote fairness. Now, this overview is just the beginning. The 2025 application guide remains the authoritative source. I encourage you to download it, read it carefully, and explore the resources on the BCG website. There are work samples, educational articles, and support materials to help you as you prepare to submit your portfolio. If you have any questions, please reach out to the BCG office. For many genealogists, preparing a portfolio is not only about earning a credential, but the preparation itself becomes a very powerful learning experience. It strengthens your analytical thinking, refines your writing, and builds confidence in your ability to meet standards. Wherever you are in your journey, I hope this overview helps you see how the elements fit together and what skills they are designed to demonstrate. So thank you for spending this time with me.